So now, so excited. Nicolette has already spoken at Collaboration Global many months ago, if not years. I think it was 2024, maybe. I'm not sure exactly. And at that point, she was talking to me about the wonderful restaurants she had, her theory about reversing chronic health. She's written a fabulous book, Eat Real to Heal, that I duly bought and devoured. I've lent it out to somebody and I can't remember who I lent it to, so I'm probably going to have to go and buy another copy. Um, but this woman is one of humanity's good people, right? Her whole life is about seeing who she can help, what she can do. And now she has huge plans to do even more of that. So I thought, well, how can we help? What can we do? And the very least we can do is to have her as a speaker to share with you, to see if it can help you if you have a chronic health condition, to see if it can help you see our food in a new way. And also, I've just been reading a fabulous book, which about ultra processed food. And it just the universe ties things in a beautiful way. So I'm reading this book, and Nicolette comes up on LinkedIn, and it's like, hello, there's a message. So someone in this room needs this message today, and I will hand over to Nicolette to share her story.
Hi, everyone. Can everybody hear me okay?
Cool.
Amazing. Sorry for popping in a few minutes late here. Technology was not on my side this morning. The link was taking me all over Google Maps. It was funny. Maybe I meant to travel right now. I'm going to use that as a sign. So yeah, we have been on quite the journey over the last 20 years. And with 20 years ago, well, it was about 30 years ago, actually, with my best friend's dad. He was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer that had metastasized to his bones, and he was given 3 months to live with no conventional treatment. So, no option for any chemo, surgery, or radiation. He was 72 years old, and he was a ferocious entrepreneur. So he was Remax's top realtor for over 20 years in North America. He taught a program called Create Your Reality. And the reason I'm talking about him now, it's not about his cancer journey, which actually brought him to somebody came to him and said, "Hey, did you know about food as medicine? Did you know about plant-based healing, the power of plants to heal the body? Did you know about detoxification through natural methods?" And he didn't know about any of these because he had been in the army. He had lived in a submarine as well. So he was also in the Navy. He had drank his whole life. He had been an alcoholic and then cleaned up and went to AA. Drugs had been a big part of his life. So he didn't know about food as medicine, plants as medicine. He was a Saskatchewan boy in Canada who grew up on a meat farm and drank, lots of dairy and that's what he knew. And so he turned to food as medicine and reversed his stage 4 cancer that had metastasized to his bones, and he lived 22 more years. Okay. Now, was that the power of his mind because he believed in creating your reality? That was the program he taught to realtors so that they could be successful realtors, like focus on how many houses you want to sell and get out there and go knock on doors and put yourself out there. If you want something, you go after it. But that was in the real estate space, making money space. But he applied that same lens to his health as well. Create your reality. And he did that. So he got to watch his grandkids be born, even his great grandkids, and passed away at 94. And he lived a vibrant life. He was working up until literally 6 months before he passed away. And not very many people can say that they do that. So create your reality. So when I heard that, I was working in government and I heard this story and I just looked the other way. I was like, and I watched him do it because we were quite close. I watched him only eat the food that he would bring to our gatherings because he wouldn't eat our food. Even though I had been vegetarian, I ate, lots of vegetables, but it was the way I was processing the food, cooking the food, that I really, um, it was very different from the what he was doing, which was very clean eating. But I worked in government and I was doing environmental work and environmental policy development. And But then another friend got sick. Her mom got sick with cancer. And so then that's when I turned to Bill and I said, "Hey, Bill, what was it that you did?" And I got curious. And then I studied this and then it just clicked. I was like, of course, plants are medicine. They're all around us in abundance everywhere. They grow under our feet in the soil. They grow in the trees. They're on the bushes. They're shaking their sexy, bright colored, berries at us. Like they literally want to be eaten. Okay. And then instead humans do the opposite. We go and create the most like industrialized farming practices to grow meat and dairy and process refined foods. We have to build manufacturing plants on top of the plants that are actually our medicine. And then we eat that food that has the packaging and then we have to recycle it. And that takes time and takes work and takes energy. Like literally the food is it's available all around us. And this is a food that has all the properties to reverse all the cancers, to reverse all the diabetes, all the heart disease, all the autoimmune disorders, the infertility, and so on. So I ended up studying this, and I've been fortunate over the last 20 years to work with over 11,000 people in 186 different countries and serving via our plant-based whole food organic restaurants over 880,000 people we have served and much, much more and successfully reversed over 150 chronic diseases. So that is the work that I do. And fast forward 7 restaurants later, we had a wellness center that we built and was able to sell just after COVID broke out. We had so many things, a beautiful podcast that's in the top 2.5% of the world, which is great. But at the same time, it's not enough. All those things that I have done and built. So the idea came to me, what if we could have a place where Jennifer and Jill and Alan and Michelle and Maria and everyone here could come to, just like you would for the cost of staying at a hotel, you can come and immerse yourself in this kind of healing so you don't have to figure it out yourself. So you don't even have to read my book. You don't even have to sign up for my online course. You could just show up at the hotel and the concierge will hand you a fresh pressed vegetable juice. It's 100% organic because we will never put pesticides in your body, just like our restaurants were 100% organic 100% of the time. And you will come and then you'll go up to your room and just like you would when you stay at the Fairmont or the Marriott or, any of those places that actually serve the food that is slowly killing you. Okay. But what if we did the opposite? So you would come to our hotel, and then while you're at the hotel, when you go up to your room and turn on the television, what if instead of watching the Disney Channel or watching, some show because you're so exhausted, because you don't have energy, because you don't eat well, and so your mitochondria in your cells are diminished, and so you're just tired and you just want to order room service and just go order a drink and go to sleep because you're just too tired to do anything else. But instead, on the television is our programming that teaches you how to get your life back, how to reverse your chronic diseases, how to work with your doctor so because you're going to have to teach your doctor how to take you off the meds because they won't know how because doctors are not taught to reverse chronic diseases. But instead, our medical team will be teaching you how to teach your doctors that you will no longer need these meds. So you're going to have to slowly educate them. So as you're getting better and learning this information, the doctors are learning how to take you off your meds, which is always so fun. I love doing this work. And really, I love it when you heal. I love it when you get your life back and get off disability and don't have to get an upcoming surgery for an illness that you've had for a long time. I love that. But what I love more is watching your doctor's jaw hit the ground, watching your doctor cry from all the years of grief that they've been holding because they wanted to go into medicine to help you, but they didn't know how. All they were legally allowed to do was prescribe you another prescription medication because they are taught to diagnose and prescribe. They are not taught about reversing diseases. And in fact, in med school today, in 2026, doctors receive less than 4 hours of nutrition training and 0 hours of chronic disease reversal, despite the fact that we have hundreds of thousands of published medical journal articles that show that the body regenerates itself, that shows that chronic diseases are reversible, and that show that we need to eat plants if we want to achieve that. So Jill, I don't know how much time do we have? I have actually. I think it's a question I didn't ask you.
Do you know what? You could have carried on talking for half an hour. I was well away then. You've got about another 7 minutes. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
So what we're doing is building this beautiful hotel. It's first of its kind in Canada, but there are other places around the world that you can go to. So there's a place in California. There's many places in Mexico because Mexico allows medical doctors to prescribe nutrition. Where in the United States, in Canada, and I don't know about the UK, but I'm pretty sure it applies to the UK. If you went in with diabetes, your doctor would have to prescribe metformin or insulin or Ozempic or like a million other medications, plus medications for your depression, which most people have anxiety, depression, panic attack disorder on top of their diagnoses. Whatever it is for heart disease, infertility, autoimmune disorders, diabetes, etc., cancer. So you leave with several medications, scripts for medications, but they're not allowed to prescribe nutrition and let you walk out the door without a prescription because they will get sued. Because if you go home and if you die from that disease, the doctor's liable. Okay, so they have to prescribe. So it's important that you know that. Many people say, my doctor just always prescribes me. Yes, that's their job. If you go and you hire a plumber and they come to your house, they're not going to do your nails and work on your electrical work because they are only allowed to do your plumbing. So it's important to know that about your doctor. So we have to take the pressure off our medical system and stop expecting them to heal you when it's their job to prescribe, to diagnose and prescribe. And once you're on a medication, unfortunately, unless you change your lifestyle, you will always be on that medication. Okay. So it's not up to your doctor to take you off the medication. It's only up to you. It's only up to you. And it's up to you to create the reality that you want to have. So if the reality is that you want to reverse your chronic disease, then it's important that you get your butts, your bums, your big, beautiful bums off to one of these centers around the world. Now, the problem with these centers, the existing centers, is that you have to be very sick to be able to get into them because there's such a huge wait list to get in. So they really only take the sickest of the sickest or the richest of the richest. Okay. So you don't want to have to wait until you're super rich or super sick to be able to get access to information that is virtually free to you. Like you can Google my book, and I'm sure people, and I know it's happened. People have like downloaded the PDF or uploaded the PDF for free. So you can even just pirate my book and you can just do it and reverse your disease. $27 if you wanted to buy it and support me, but for $27 you can reverse your disease. Or if you don't want to have to read the book, then for the cost of a hotel room, you can come to our hotel that we're currently raising money for, currently building in Canada, where you can just come and all the food in the organic, 100% organic, plant-based whole food restaurant, based on the chain of restaurants that I created, will be in the hotel. Beautiful, five-star chef. It's going to be amazing. It's delicious. You won't even know, what came over you. Most people who ate at our restaurants, they'd often say, why am I vibrating? Why am I vibrating? And that is because their cells are finally receiving nutrients that gets turned into energy. It's a simple biochemical process. And that energy, when you build up enough of it, goes in to repair your body via what's called cellular regeneration. Cellular regeneration. So, right now, we have acquired the land. And what's been amazing about this project is that I didn't know I was going to open a hotel a year ago, but I had separated from my partner, who's a dear friend, the father of my three girls, and I moved to Vancouver Island with my girls. That's where they wanted to be, and then we were living on this land that was set to be developed into an apartment complex, but the landlord, I started talking to him and he asked me what I did and I told him what I did. And he said, oh, 30 years ago, I studied chronic disease reversal using metabolic nutrition at university. And he published studies on this. And he's like, but he went and became a firefighter, like left that behind and went and became a firefighter and then a property developer. And I think he did that. If anybody believes in kismet and coincidences, it was to be able to acquire the land on our behalf because he said, if you want to build something on this land to help people, I would love it if you do. So we're now sitting on this beautiful parcel of land. The neighbors next door heard about our project and they said, we want to also sell you our land. And so you can add that to the project to build more hotels. And then since then, it's only been one, it's like a snowballer, that just gathers and gets bigger. And so everybody is stepping forward and they want this to happen. So we're meeting with incredible investors, people who cry as they sit across from us and tell us about the medical challenges they have, and that now they have hope that they don't have to live with these chronic diseases anymore. We're meeting with the founders of Airbnb and eBay. They want this to happen. The minute we came out public with this, we were contacted by the Marriott, who said, can you bring your programs into our hotels? But then they also said, by the way, we're not going to get rid of our unhealthy food because people love it. And I was like, I will not work with you then because I'm not going to be part of an establishment that wants to serve food to make the money just because that's their goal and that's their motive. I only want to be part of establishments that want to heal people. So that is a hotel project. It's called Richer Health Stay to Heal Hotel. We have a website that you can go to and see the public announcement that we made. It was a 2-hour workshop that we did with the community, and the city was there to cheer us on and say they 100% support this project and being built. So they want this built in their community because we live in a community where there is a lot of drug addiction, a lot of alcohol addiction, as is many, many communities around the world. That increased tremendously since COVID, and many people who are living with chronic degenerative diseases. So we all need to get together and create, whether it's a big hotel or to offer up a room in your house where you learn this and invite people in and you cook for them and let them stay with you so you can pass this knowledge on to them. A lot of our clients that heal end up doing that. And it's a program that we teach where they can create a mini retreat center within their home, even if they only have one room for one guest. You can do that. And this is the way that we are spreading this message that food is medicine and that you can be thriving free of your chronic diseases. So you can go out there and pour your gifts into the world because it's very difficult to do that when you lack energy, when you're in chronic pain, when you're having to spend many hours in waiting rooms and doctors' offices, and when you've lost hope that your life's going to be cut short as a result of your chronic disease. And but I know you all have gifts to give to the world, and what I love seeing is when my clients get off their medications and heal, they often go out and start the most incredible businesses, but businesses that serve societies, the planet, and the people, and the animals, and the plants. It's rarely ever are they creating businesses just to get rich anymore. They become people of service. So I hope for that for you. And I think we're going to move into Q&A.